Hi everybody, it's Susan from Sunrise Quilt Studio, and for this week's video I thought I would show you a slideshow of all my past Christmas projects. Now most of these will have videos to go with them, and I'll have those linked in the description below, and from the description of each video you can also find patterns for the majority of those projects. So if you'd like to try any of them out, just click on the links and follow the link to the pattern, and then you can download those and try them out for yourselves. So I hope you'll sit back, grab a cup of coffee, cup of tea, and I hope you'll enjoy this video. This Christmas challenge quilt from 2018 was put on by my local quilt guild. We were given a pattern each month for 9 months, and we were to make 5 blocks of each pattern. And some months we were given an alternate pattern that we could choose between a pieced block and an applique block. And I usually went for the applique blocks whenever that was an option. And putting it together was up to us. The fabrics were up to us, however we wanted to do it. I chose to make this candy cane stripe sashing in between my rows. Now the project was a challenge because not all the blocks were the same size, so it was a little bit more difficult to put together. And so I put a couple of the rows on the side to kind of even things up, so it was a rectangular quilt that was pretty much of a normal lap size quilt. Now in 2019 I did my first Christmas sampler quilt on YouTube, and I decided to go with the same type of quilt as the challenge quilt. It gave me inspiration to do this quilt. Now all the blocks are different. I didn't use the blocks in the challenge quilt, but it did give me an idea of, it gave me a jumping off point for this quilt. Now all of these blocks are applique. They're fusible applique, and I did do machine embroidery on them and then long arm quilted them. In 2020, I decided I wanted to make a house quilt for Christmas, so this is called Christmas Cottage. It was made with a layer cake for all the appliques, and then I used yardage for the backgrounds and the borders. I didn't use any sashing in this quilt. I alternated a dark background with a light background. These are all fusible applique pieces, and they were machine embroidered with decorative stitches, and then I long arm quilted this one. In 2021, I decided I wanted to make a basket quilt for Christmas. So this is the Christmas basket quilt. This one is more traditional colors and traditional prints. I did do some alternate blocks to be used within the quilt if you wanted, and those were applique blocks. And they were actually used in a table runner, which you'll see a picture of here in just a little bit. This quilt I called Snowed In. This is the exact same basket quilt. It is just using different fabrics, and the fabric line was called Snowed In. And it gives it a more modern look than the other quilt. And the majority of these pictures here, I'm in the process of machine quilting them, so you can see some of the details of the quilting in these photographs. I made the same applique blocks for this set of quilt blocks that I did for the traditional basket quilt, and they do have a completely different look from the traditional colors of the previous basket quilt. And also in 2021, I used some of the leftover pieces to make a couple of pinwheel ornaments. And in 2023, I made a variety of different projects, and this is called Best of All. It's a pillow cover, and this is a Christmas star table runner, and I have this one hanging from a rod. So there are 4 blocks in this one, and it was made from a layer cake. And the maple star placemats, I made 4 of those, and they are also made with a layer cake. And for this year, 2024, I made 3 little quilts. This one is called Christmas Tree of Life, and I made it with Lori Holt fabrics, and just used what I had in my stash and made a Tree of Life block in the center, and then some stars that are surrounding it. And the star pattern is called Blackford's Beauty. The second quilt I made was the Christmas Bauble quilt, and that is made with Pine Valley from Basic Gray from Moda. And this was a simple block that's alternating with some flying geese. And the last quilt is called Christmas Star. It's just made with some sawtooth stars and 16 patch blocks in the corners. Thanks for watching. For more quilting ideas, click on the video links. And to keep up with my latest projects, click on the subscribe button. I hope to see you again soon.